Okay. I just had a frustrating game, so hopefully I can get some nice people to come visit and hang out. See if the stream will go anywhere this week, if anything goes well. And if not, then I don't know, I'll find something else to do. But for now, we'll give this stream an attempt. Should always be somewhat of an attempt to have one of the weekly streams, but I don't know. We'll see. How's it going with you, True Sage? I don't know. I'm just giving it a try, seeing anybody who wants to come in. I'm not really sure, but you guys drop any comments you got. What's up, Jared Punch? And we'll see what exactly there is to talk about this week, because we got a lot of setup and a lot of really vicious chapters this week, and I'm really hoping that from this we will have well, after last week of, like I said, more of setup, more of all around. Oh god, I got stuff playing in the background. I don't know if that was, yeah, that's probably audible, but yeah, I was watching some Chinese anime. Don't worry about it. Anyway, yeah, F for Mechamaru. He was close to winning. He was borderline, like just a couple of inches away from getting in that final stab and getting the getting that boost in. But that wasn't the case. He wasn't even able to. He wasn't able to fully get it off. So, let me post out some links, and we'll see who comes and hangs out this week. You guys got any questions or comments you got just right beforehand? I think I'm posting my stream in the wrong channels. 1 second. I think it's no, I don't think so. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure I posted it on some random dude's channel by mistake on his Discord. But as it is, I am hoping this week. I'm posting it in the wrong ones. I just realized on a different one. I'm hoping this week we can get a lot of like execution for a lot of the more vicious setup that we got within the last week. Because we got a lot of stuff, like we got the whole Makarov possessed by Wraith. We got Reze ready to unleash upon everybody in Chainsaw Man. We got the whole event in Shibuya in Jujutsu Kaisen. I think the only one that wrapped up anything was Eden Zero. We got the whole wrap up pretty much for the whole Kurenai fight. What else was there? Was there anything really to be established outside of setup? And I think the only execution, like I said, was in Eden Zero. Because, like, My Hero was on break this week. Black Clover had the whole setup with the Spade Kingdom, which is going to be really hype. I'm really looking forward to seeing the Spade Kingdom just go wild and seeing what exactly makes them as buffed as they are. I mean, we know that there's demon involvement of them, but to what degree? What degree are they going to be influenced essentially by these demons, or rather just one? I assume that we are gonna get more than Megicula, but that's not entirely true. I imagine more than one demon would be too much, so probably just Megicula, to be perfectly honest. Either way, that one alone is gonna be a pretty big deal. That is already long since established that they are all going to just be behemoths, and until characters reach that way later along the line level of progress, it's going to be that level. Anyway, let me read some of the chats. Yeah, hello, F for Mechamaru. Yeah, what's up? Not that much, just chilling today, hanging out, visiting and talking to some people. But as it is, I would really like to say hi to some people. I didn't really do much of a stream last week. I think I tried, and then no one really showed up. So I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll just call it good and figure out something else to do. So yeah, it's coming in to see how you guys are all up to now. That we got a pretty decent amount of people here already. But as it is, let's see. When making characters to look for personalities from the characters, different characters, and they're based off of. I'm working on a few right now. I wanted to get the core 4 for my series done this weekend, at least kind of like the base layout of them, because I have 5 series ideas, and I wanted to get the core 4 for each, and that being the main character, their romantic interest member of the team kind of thing, the rival, and the main antagonist. So I just about done with that. I think I got like 2 or 3 characters left. I've got some ideas that I really like, so I'm hoping that goes well. True Magic reminds me of Sage Mode from Naruto. Well, we got some True Magic in Fairy Tail, like Jalalzi's got his True Heavenly Body magic with Senma. Who's my favorite character in Ruby? My favorite characters are Crow, Jean, Adam, and I like Weiss, but Weiss, I don't know what it is about Weiss. Anytime she's in a fight with a character with a name, she's just like fumbling all over herself and like running into walls and just like tripping on her own feet. I don't know. She's like, she looks really good at fighting. Like anytime it's like, oh yeah, look, a bunch of nameless Grimm, and then it's like, hey, this character has a name, and then suddenly she turns into Mr. Magoo. What's up, King Sinbad? How's it going, man? Oh, my Halloween? It was good. I was a little bit worried. I was only outside for like 2 hours giving out candy, because initially I was just gonna sit, near my door, hang out, and then wait for people to knock on my door. But little kids kept almost falling on my stairs, so I just went and sat next to my fence and probably looked really creepy handing up candy. But I'd rather that than some little kid falls and hurts themselves. So at least there's that. And just a shameless little plug. Really appreciate anybody who would thumbs up the video. Befriend the like button to the stream. And if you follow me on Twitter, just maybe give that little retweet on the stream post and see how many people we can get come hang out and talk about manga. Penny's best wife. I was very happy about that. I think anybody was going to, anybody who watches the series knew that Penny she wasn't dead. She was a robot. I mean, that much was obvious. I know people are a little salty about it. But like, well, one, don't click on the video. And two, I imagine if you're online and you're like, man, I really don't want to get a spoiler for this thing, you should probably avoid anything that has to do with said series. But Penny coming back again, it was such a long since predictable thing. It's whatever. Anything that's actually like a plot, like important thing, then obviously I'm not going to spoil. I don't feel like, me seeing a character that in no way will alter the story like way that was going on coming back matters. And I mean that was anyway. We need more spirit talks for Black Clover. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Asta soon, because we know from Undine that she has the full like idea of utilizing the devil within Asta, well, within his grimoire. So I'm wondering if she is going to cause him to communicate with the anti-magic devil, see what he's doing, and have like a good conversation between him and Asta. Am I gonna make my own manga? I gotta learn to draw. I'm very, very low tier at drawing. I'm like DeviantArt level, where it's like I can sort of draw, but it all looks very kind of like flat and 2D. None of the characters look very well. I think I got like a lot of good ideas for writing the characters and like designs and stuff, but I don't have a lot of artistic skills, so I just need to work on that. And I'd like to get it enough to where it would look all right. Because I don't need it to be like, oh, I'm some amazing artist that I can do some like really great manga looking series like from the day one. Because obviously when you start it, you're going to be growing your artistic ability over time. So that would be really cool to see on top of it. But also, I know there's a lot of mangaka that started out pretty okay and then got way better over time. So it's like not a big deal. I want to at least be decent at drawing. But yeah, I should probably change that thumbnail title. Ruby video's a bit spoilery. I don't care. I mean, it's not even an important spoiler. It was really obvious. It's not a big deal. Oh, like that. I don't know if you saw my comment, but True Magic. Oh yeah, I saw that. I read that. I was agreeing with you. I'm guessing True Magic is more of the like, just raw kind of pure form, whereas demon versions, devil versions are their corrupted, darker form. I was genuinely sad and shocked at Penny's death. True, it was undermined the weight of the moment, but at least it makes enough sense. Or her death, I don't think I didn't think for a moment that her death was permanent. I mean, she's a robot. As long as you keep like whatever her core unit is, wherever her memory and processing part's fine, you just put her in a new body. I didn't think even at all that there was going to be any issue there. Who's my favorite rival in new generation of anime? My favorite three. Well, I'm gonna do my favorite four. I really like Wise from Eden Zero, Aki from Chainsaw Man, Yuno from Black Clover, and Megumi from Jujutsu Kaisen. They're my favorite four at the moment. I'm planning to buy how to draw manga books and take up manga as a hobby. I want to do that too. I need to work on that. I've I've still been getting settled on some of the things in my house after moving in last month, so I'm getting close to being done there. I would like to get I found one of my tablets, but I don't think it works anymore. I think it's just been off for so long it won't turn back on. I left it on like a charger for like a whole day and it didn't do anything. So I don't know. I'll see if there's any kind of like setups or like things online how to fix that. But if not, then eventually I'll either get like a drawing thing to put on my computer or something. I don't really know. I think maybe actually really cool. I wonder if I could get like a drawing tablet that hooks up to my computer, and then kind of like a switch where it will switch, but detach from the console to mobile, but for a computer. I don't know. Can't wait for Rex to never catch up. I'm caught up right now, so I'm definitely there. Shiki will surpass Natsu and Haru. We'll see. There's definitely the potential there, but Natsu is a lot stronger, and thanks to making Phoenix Priestess canon, that it's taken another big jump because now pretty much everybody's Zereth and up scaled to the level that the Phoenix Priestess had, which includes straight planetary like not like destruction, not destroying just raw the planet, but scorching everything on the surface of that entire planet to ash, which is obviously a big deal. Really still important, especially for the fairy tale planet, which is much bigger than a standard planet. So that's really impressive in a lot of things. Connector Magician can summon any used archetype monsters from the face up, extra deck and hand, but their effects are negated. That's pretty strong. Basically meant to help you summon the 4 dragons. Well, wouldn't you want more of like? I feel like you'd want more protection. So when you get them out there, it'll keep them up to make it safer to summon other ones. If you're making a manga, you'll need a tablet. It'll be easier. Yeah, I know. I had one, but I forgot about it for a while because I was busy, and then I just never got back to it. But I really want to now. I have a lot more free time now, and right now I was thinking like, well, I could try and do more videos, but like I got enough content already. Like I usually do at least like 1, 2, sometimes more videos a day. I like the level that I'm putting out now. I would like to be able to draw so I can post some of the video characters that I have in mind, and eventually get to actually drawing something. What role do you think Levi or Annie might play in AOT? Annie, I have no idea because the manga is almost over and she's still in Crystal, and I don't know. I think the Levi getting all messed up was just a way to set up for him to be gone and away from everything so he could survive, pretty much Ragnarok. You should hire an artist. Oh, I want to be able to do it myself, though. I really want to be able to draw myself. Wonka Syntax is a tablet manga used from what I heard. Oh, thanks. I'll look into it. What if Shiki and Rebecca had a child, and the child became the next Demon King after Shiki? I'm actually hoping, if we're talking about shipping, I'm hoping that Mishima does like a switch, and it's actually Homura and Shiki, and then Rebecca and Wise. I think that'd be a lot more interesting of a duo, personally. Do you think the guy from Spade Kingdom is Yuno's brother? I don't know where you're getting Yuno's brother from. I mean, I can't even say similar hair. I guess he's got black hair. And then again, we don't even know what color it is because it's in black and white. It could be one of those times where it's just done that way because it's in black and white. Maybe his hair is a different color. Mora's best girl. Yeah, I agree. Eden Zero's best girl definitely at the moment. Ruby inspired my idea on making weapons. I don't think any of my series has weapons like Ruby. I think the only one that has weapons outside of just standard, it's part of your power. They're more of like enchanted tools. Some people have powers, but anybody can use like any of these special weapons. I've got an idea I'm formulating for a couple of them. Nah, bro, Pino is best girl. Pino has a lot of potential too. I'm wondering how she's ever going to become human. if there's any way besides just going to Mother and Mother pretty much, making her a body. The guy from the Spade Kingdom looks more like Yami or Lotus. If that was Lotus, dude, if that was Lotus, that would completely blow my mind. I would be more confused than anything, but extremely interested because if they're like, what's the idea? Why is Lotus gonna do stuff? Yeah, oh my god. Now I'm very intrigued. Like, what if Lotus left, got buffed up, and then could run through all of them because he had like a demon smoke or something? And that'd be really cool. And it's like, well, why did he did it? And it was some reason to protect his daughters because we know was it 3 or 4 kids that he had. I remember he's got, I think it's 3 daughters, and that was like his whole thing about, he doesn't really care about having to do more ruthless stuff on the battlefield because he thought more about protecting them rather than, well, it probably wouldn't be very nice, brutally killing this person in battle. He's like, well, nope, I got kids to feed, and just whatever. Well, he's not a brutally killing guy. He'd like, oh yeah, you're smoked, and now you're gonna like choke out and die in your sleep. That's a nice, very soothing way to kill people. But yeah, I got some ideas for a manga. I've got 5 right now. The newest one I'm thinking of is going to be more of like a horror theme. I really want to stick it to 5. I like the idea of the 5 characters that I have and the 5 series around them. So anything beyond this, I'm just going to see, like, if I just come up with an idea, just, bored doing whatever, and I get an idea for a character series, instead of like main character, I'm just going to try and figure out a way to put them in another one of the ones they already have. Then can transfer power to others, like a stat booster. Sounds familiar. It just sounds like, normal energy sharing. I think that's in a lot of stuff. Any form of, like, buffs. Homura is basically a mix between Kagura and Urza. Almost people say sometimes about her. So here's the thing. I'm a little bit salty. About one of the Homura traits. So, out of the 5 series that I have an idea, the primary one, the main character has like a fire because I've always liked fire. That was one of the things that drew me to Fairy Tail initially. And his kind of rival character, kind of like that equivalent to Gray, is a gravity kind of character. And now we not only got Shiki as a gravity user, but one of his traits was that he would say things that he's thinking out loud by mistake. And Homura does that. So now I'm wondering if I should change that or keep that in. I don't know. I really like that aspect about the guy. And I'm wondering if I should alter it or, whatever it should be. I have basic plot and character fights thought up already. My primary one, I have most of it thought out. And then the other ones, I have a lot of the general ideas thought out. And I'm trying to make sure to get all the antagonists and, like, the core characters all established before I end up, like, really swallowing them. Because the problem I had with the first one is I made a lot of characters, and I should have, like, made a little summary of each of them, saved them and had everything in there. Because now I got to go back and, like, look at what I actually wrote down and see, like, well, where am I going to find, like, information on these characters to kind of keep track of them? Yami X Charlotte, EX Mimosa. Oh, Mimosa. I mean, you got a good chance there. Mimosa's more likely going to end up Noelle, so where's Mimosa going to go? Maybe Finral. Oh, and I gotta approve of your comment, Diva King of Gravity. Eden Zero fans actually think Lavilia is evil. Think Lavilia, is she evil and she's throwing up? She's a bitch. I mean, she's not evil. I mean, she's just not nice. She's just not a pleasant person. Like blink expressions when being obvious or joking. That's one of the things I would really like. So I would really like, if I could get like a drawing skill set, I would like to look something kind of like Kiramashima's. I really like his art style. It's nice, but it has like a good level, and like a lot of the like base characters, it has like a good normal simplicity, and just like if you're just drawing the characters standing around. Obviously he can do like more detailed stuff, lots of like crazy panels and whatnot, but it's those characters you can draw pretty easily just in a scene. But I'd like to have kind of like something like that, when you have like a goofier moment, kind of like whatever each artist brand of, oh yeah, this is the comedic art style that I switch it to. I'd like to have my own of that. And I was thinking maybe more of like little triangular eyes, something, make them look like a little gnome. Noelle's best girl. I like Noelle too. Noelle's definitely up there. My favorite girl in Black Clover right now is still Mara Leona. Girl's a badass. Noelle or Weiss, who's more tsundere. I like no. I honestly, I think I like Noelle at this point more than Weiss, because with the gap between them is both of them started out like with high backgrounds between their families. They had a lot of pressure on them. They weren't very skilled because they were kind of clumsy and control was an issue. But Noelle's been progressing, pretty steadily. Where Weiss just seems to fumble every other time she gets in a fight. Rebecca Hamora. I like Hamora more than Rebecca right now. I want to think up every detail before I start, the way I cannot get stuck while drawing. And yeah, I got a lot of things that I've got planned out for the primary one. The thing is, I got to do the primary one because the primary one sets up all the other ones. Vanessa's my best girl. So someone pointed out, I didn't notice this because I don't know if it's in the anime only. Is Diamante, or however you pronounce her name, Fonzel's wife? She has a grimoire that's not. It's got like a six-pointed star on it, and not a clover, not a heart, spade, or diamond. So I'm wondering if that is on maybe just like, oh, you can't really see it very well, and maybe that's what people think it is, and maybe it's a clover, or what the status on that is. Because then where is she from? Is she gonna be an opening for stuff beyond the Spade Kingdom? Because we know that there's obviously stuff beyond the Spade Kingdom. The question is what exactly is it? Because that's the only thing separating them between everything else in the world. The other kingdoms are surrounded by water. One second. Yeah, they're all surrounded by water. They're cut off a lot of stuff. Have I been reading? You know what? Is that the sumo wrestler manga? I think I haven't read that yet. I know of it. Oh wait, no. Hino ga Crush. Isn't that the sequel to Kill la Kill, or not Kill la Kill? Akame ga Kill. If so, I haven't. I haven't read that yet. I've been trying to catch up on that. What's that series that's in Weekly Shonen Jump? It's what Kamio Yui Cuts Loose or whatever. I tried it when it first came out. I wasn't really interested, but I started to see some of the recent chapters, and it looked somewhat interesting. So I've been reading, catching up on that. And it gives me a strong kind of like remembrance of Hitman Reborn, because Hitman Reborn, the first like chunk of chapters were just, they had no real plot to them. They were just, it was like a one episode little goof that Suna would get into, and then he would turn into, he'd get the reborn shot and he'd be in his underwear yelling and doing something. And then it ended up becoming like a series with a plot. That's what this Kamio manga seems to pretty much be. And I'm wondering, I mean, it's at like 27 chapters or something, so it's broken past the cancellation point. So I'm hoping that it ends up doing well for itself. It seems interesting. The art is really nice. The Battle Neon World is like a mirror world, where your mod is a reflection of your personality. Oh, that's cool. I feel like I've heard of that, something similar. I don't remember, but I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of something like JoJo and Stans, and I'm just getting things mixed up. Either way, not important. Anyway, so Kamiyuko, this is pretty good. Are you caught up? I think I'm like 10 chapters behind. It looks interesting enough. Some of the pictures I've seen of recent chapters. I just gotta put in the effort to get through it. I've started getting some more interesting parts where they start talking about like a mirror world and stuff, which is kind of cool. Which actually, yeah, there you go, mirror world. That's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of that cameo manga. Do you think Heroes will be animated to an OVA? I mean, it would need to be more than an OVA, because from what I understand, it's going to be 10 episodes. And 10 episodes, you're going to need at least 5, or 10 chapters, so you're going to need at least 5 episodes, I would say. But it depends, because we don't know what the status of it is. None of the Hiroshima series right now have an anime. Eden Zero doesn't have an anime yet. Fairy Tail doesn't currently have an anime. Rave Master doesn't have an anime. That is a good question. I mean, if it does well enough, let me see how many people favored it on the app. Because I have the app for Manga Poke, and Heroes is one of them. I think it's got a decent number of people that go for it. And I know it's got a simul release in English on, was it Comixology, which is good, obviously good for them. I'm wondering if they're going to have a simultaneous release for Fairy Tail then, like, for fuck's sake. I don't think they do. Let me check that too. Let me see if they've got one. I don't think so. Oh, that's dumb. Why would they not have a? Why would they not have a simultaneous release for the main series? But they got. I mean, they got the Happy's one. They got Happy's little story, which is good. I like that. That makes me at least slightly happy. No pun intended. Anyway, um, so actually thinks well poetry. Well, wait. So actually thinks well poetry. Eden Zero Crew. I don't even know what you just said. Midori is actually more similar to Endeavor when you think about it. In what way do you think so? Rave Master needs a finished anime. I don't even remember where the anime left off. It's kind of like skidded along. The new Pokemon anime looks impressive, by the way. I haven't looked at any trailers. I've been avoiding Pokemon spoilers for months, and yet now people are dropping spoilers all over the timeline, and I'm seeing all these Pokemon. It's pissing me off. I don't want to. One of my favorite things about the game is walking into a bush, finding a Pokemon I've never seen, and then you don't even know when it evolves. You don't know what it evolves into. You don't know what its types are. You don't know what its attacks are. You get it. You find out a little information on it, and then its stats. The only thing I want to know up and coming to this game is how many Pokemon are there. Someone says, "Oh, there's 100." I'd be like, "Okay, cool. There's 100 new ones. Fantastic. That's good enough for me. Don't tell me anything else. I don't want to know anything else." I'm actually slightly salty because I had to sell a bunch of my Pokemon games. I was a little short of money at the start of December, and it was either sell my Pokemon games or sell some of my Yu-Gi-Oh, and I was like, I'm not selling my fucking Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. I'll have to rebuy the Pokemon games eventually and play them over, which will hurt me, but I can do it. Even though I really like Pokemon, I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player to my core when it comes down to the two of them. It's catching up. Wait, yeah, I'm caught up with what's getting good. It turns into action horror instead of straight comedy. That's what I was hoping for, because I'm not a huge fan of series when they're just, it's like a chapter of goofs, and then that's pretty much all I'm getting. I mean, I'm fine with comedy, but I'd rather stuff with a plot. So I'm glad that happens. I peeked at one part and I saw like a dude who had a bunch of bees, and he was like attacking people on a train, which looked cool. When I was watching Eden Zero reaction, the guy said that said rope stop and the ether gear users are stupid. Well, no, I think so. From what I understand, it's binding wherever your ether gear stems out of, because your ether gear isn't like magic. Magic, you're channeling the natural ether nano that you absorbed in your body into using magic some way, whereas the ether gear is altering the flow of the ether already in your body, so it's doing something different. It's more of kind of like one is utilizing the raw energy and turning it into something else, while one is like messing with the flow paths in order to cause it to do something different. And with magic, I mean, you could just learn magic in Fairy Tail as long as you had like information on how to use it. You should be able to learn it. We don't really know how you obtain Ether Gear, but well, we know a little bit from all this stuff of like Sister and our Witch and Rebecca, but it's still a little bit vague. So with that, it's like if you bind the area that it's going out of, then you're obviously blocking the flow of wherever the ether gear is taking effect. So naturally, it's not going to work properly. Utopic circuit. Are you making a new Utopia card? How about someone saying? Wait, I have something saying that, and I was interested. That's good. It's bad I've never read or watched Rave Master, despite the fact I'm a fan of Hiro Mishima. Is it bad? Yeah, why haven't you read Rave Master, man? Go read Rave Master. I've read all Hiro Mishima's works. I really enjoyed the way that he does things. I'm planning on selling my DVDs for extra cash. Yeah, it was pretty shitty. I didn't want to, but it was pretty much either I knew that in the long run I was gonna be fine, but like for a good like week or so, it was either get my account into the negatives or sell some of my stuff. I just sell my DS2. I mean, it sucked, but I knew I would never play my DS again, and I'm sure that the Switch at some point is going to be like, oh yeah, you can pretty much buy every Pokemon game and play it on the Switch. I'm pretty sure some of them are on there already, which then I could just buy on there, but I know it was rough, but I can do it. The body deformation Jutsu is crazy. Yeah, dude, Mahito is fucking wild. Like, he was pretty much like a giant, horrific centipede man. Have I read Black Torch? I read the first 2 volumes. I heard it got canceled though, which made me sad. It bummed me out because I really like the designs and the art style. Do you think that I should make a Link monster for Kite? He already has one in the form of Galaxy Eyes Soul Flare Dragon. Well, then he's good. He doesn't need it. The Bees is part of the current arc of the series. I think the author wants the series to be short because the setup is he's currently doing. Oh no, my guess is just like a lot of other mangaka when their numbers are getting low, is they're rushing a lot of things, trying to get a little bit more aggressive with their storytelling in order to get their ratings up so they don't get canceled. And it looks like it's working for the series right now because it's broken away. It seems to have passed that early cancellation point, and now it just needs to get a good level of. Well, I gotta yawn. Sorry. I just got to get a little decent amount of staying power, good consistency on there. I'm wondering about making some Kotaker retrains to support Playmaker's alternative summoning monsters. Playmaker has enough cards. I mean, outside of giving him a Link 5, you don't really need anything. What's my favorite type of Halloween candy since we were just past Halloween? Honestly, I feel like that really varies for me. I'm thinking back. I feel like just thinking back as far as I can remember, any Crunch Bar, like, Crunch Bars or the Crackles, anything that has that, that extra crunch in there. I'm trying to remember what that material is called that's in it. Is it wafer crisps or whatever? I don't know. Anything with that usually was like my go-to favorite going, like when I went trick-or-treating and stuff. Twix and Snickers. I do really like Twix. I didn't eat Twix for the longest time. I think because I don't think I liked caramel a lot when I was a little kid, and then at some point I tried it and I really liked it. 1 second. 1 second. I gotta send a message really quick. Okay. I had to reply to somebody real quick. Anyway, Skittles. The thing about Skittles, like too fruity of candies, I think I get a little bit turned away from them after a bag of Skittles is like already like, in my opinion, like as much as, well, I can't even say my opinion, as much as I can take. I was about to say, in my opinion, as much as I can handle. I don't know who's showing it, like, you can do it, you can have more, eat more Skittles. Like, Jesus, Soul Winner needs a Synchro Monster, and I don't. You're giving it too much. Give that man a Link 5 before you give him a Synchro Monster. Well, his first confrontation with the final boss. So I don't know. Wait, for what? Oh, yeah. This is my favorite anime villain, Zeref. I love Zeref. Zeref's story was so great. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was all around like a really interesting way to really tell his character. Because it was all set up initially like he was some mastermind, big, evil, raw villain. And then, he turned out to be complete misdirection. And he was just somebody who was suffering and really wanted to end like the hundreds of years of agony he was going through, but also help people. Zeref's that boy. Kira Ishida for the win. Current top 10 manga villain backstories. I can't just drop top 10 in the middle of stream. Because, especially top villains. That would take me too long to think of. Obviously, I really like Zeref, but again, that's something I would have to spend time looking over, thinking about all the characters, and then I'd run into obvious. Oh, Alaoud! Thanks. Oh my! I actually don't know. Wait. First off, thanks for the $2 of, I don't know what that currency is called, but I would like to thank you while at the same time asking what are the Finnish currency called? I don't think I've ever asked. What's Finnish currency? I appreciate the gift though. You're dat boy. I gotta thank him 1 second. Oh no, Streamlabs. Oh, there we go. Streamlabs decided to get it done this time. Oh no, I don't know if that sound came through. Oh, actually, hang on. Let me turn on. I'm hoping this goes through. I got music because I went through. There's the YouTube normal kind of like basic setup for free music. There we go. YouTube has, like, you know, their own free music that they won't strike you on. Is it euros? Thanks, bud. I appreciate your contribution, so I don't have to eat rocks. People are starting that probably, she probably is human, whatever connection to mother he has. Oh, I don't think he's human. I did a video on my theories for Shiki's origin, if you want to go check it out. Playmaker's strongest monster, Firewall, Drag, Dark Fluid, and Access Code Talker don't count. Oh, he needs something above Dark Fluid, but then you gotta fit the theme, because Dark Fluid, I think, Dark Fluid is like an origin theory of, like, life in the universe, or like an alternate to the Big Bang. Euros. I thought the Finnish had their own thing. How come Smarty's, what is he, Danish? He's got his own thing. What are they called? Kurtz? Or I have to look it up. He told me once before. I don't remember. But I appreciate it nonetheless. Alaoud, were you sad that Mechamaru fell this week? You lost your robot boy. I'm sorry. It wasn't intentional. I'm curious, all powers I'm gonna be after Shiki's Ether Gear form. Well, I'm hoping to see more advancement of his Ether ability. And I know people are wanting, like, black holes and stuff. I want wormholes. I'd prefer wormholes because Shiki is more centered towards mobility and kind of like agility when it comes to his power, and obviously just how much he moves around and stuff. I think wormholes would be cooler because he'd have little portals he can go through, and it would sustain a lot of his own identity versus just giving him like a big void, big void pocket to mess with. Oh, what do you think? Would you rather it be something like that? I'm curious what other power-ups is gonna be after Shiki's Ether. Oh, what the Kinmano, $20. Holy shit, man. Jesus. That's the largest super chat I had, and honestly, I didn't even want to mention this, but today is in fact my birthday, and I really appreciate the gift, man. I don't know if I've mentioned that, but yeah, thanks a lot, dude. $20, goddamn. Who's my favorite anime manga sibling? Mine is Zelda's and Itachi. Let me think. Obviously Zeref. Zeref is.
Oh shit! You just busted a nut.
I'm hoping that sound animation went through. I set up all the sound for donations and stuff, but yeah, I'm hoping that went through. Anyway, yeah. So Zeref is obviously one of them. Let me think. I'm trying to think of like a lot of the series. I really like Byakuya. Kaiba. Seto Kaiba is easily one of my very favorites. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to. I didn't want to make it seem a little special. I actually legitimately, I went to bed last night at like 1 in the morning, and I didn't even remember. Other people reminded me what today was. Like, they're either in group chats or Discord, and I was very appreciative of them. It's a little bit weird when someone remembers your birthday over you, but I think it's more of like, well, I guess I'm just forgetting, and they're just nicer. Appreciate it though. I appreciate everybody. But Zeref, Kaiba, Byakuya, what other? I'm trying to think of some of the major manga that I really like. Oh, well, Zatch counts. I liked Zatch and Xeno. I liked the resolution. I thought that was great. Yeah, I appreciate it, Kenmano. I'm trying to different brother. Oh, Megumi counts. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't put Megumi is a potential up there, but I'm trying to think of very favorites. Who else on the list? I mean, most Well, no, a lot of Are any of the Yu-Gi-Oh characters siblings? I legitimately, I've never thought about this. Yugi's an only child. Jaiden's an only child. Yusei's an only child, Yuya's an only child, Yuya's an only child, and Yusaku's an only... I never thought about that, to be perfectly honest. So I can't use any of them. Zeref, obviously, yeah, Zeref is one of them. I'm hoping Ignia lives up to a lot of the hype I've got for him. I've got a lot of faith riding on that character. He's got so much potential as somebody, and I've done a video on him before. I gotta do another one at some point, Kenmano, because legitimately that is personally I think that's a really important thing, especially when it ties to a main character like Natsu. Natsu's got a lot of potential resolve towards his brother. Actually really wished Natsu mentioned Ignia while talking to the beta heaven version of Igneel, just to see what he would have to say. But I guess it's not the real one, so it'd be kind of different. But this won't pull away any weight now, because if he told him, then he would have to explain it to him again when he eventually, hopefully uses. I'm hoping Wendy will use Milky Way at some point, maybe after the Ignia fight, and Igneel can meet Ignia for the first time. And, Igneel would see that he's got a blood son. Oh, he assumed he's got a son. I imagine any of the mating seasons he went out, he ran into, the basic idea that he was going to procreate some dragon love. Thanks though, Kidmar. Legitimately, I think that's the biggest super chat that I've gotten before is $20. I'm gonna have to utilize that. Well, luckily, my Natsu figure should be here relatively soon. The guy said sometime in September or November and December, and I want to do I'm gonna do an unboxing video for that. I'm probably gonna make the thumbnail long before, because I feel like there's nothing really spoiling for a thumbnail of me just showing the figure, and probably a lot of like exclamation points, a box, opening something. It's gonna be exciting. It is gonna be really exciting. I'm considering painting the walls of my room before then, because I plan on keeping a lot of my figures and manga in my more office room. Thinking about it. Who's your favorite anime sibling fight? Sasuke versus Itachi, Kame, Kurome, and Kame got killed anime. Dude, have you read Zatch Bell? Dude, Zatch versus Xeno was awesome. That was a sick fight. I love that. I love the whole setup for Xeno. I thought that was fantastic. And the whole kind of like reveal of why he was the way he was, and how exactly what was like his whole thing. Like, Xeno was super powerful, and yet like he was emotionally kind of staggered. Top 3 shonen protagonists. Natsu. So luckily he said shonen, so I can knock out, because last time someone asked me like main characters. Yeah, I'd include like Guts, but Guts is the main character. I would pick Natsu, kind of like a tie between Yugi and Jaden. Well, and then I throw a Tem in there because Yugi and a Tem are kind of like the same spot. And then, actually, I feel like that is the top 3. I feel like it's Yugi and Natsu, Yugi / Atem, and then Jaden as top 3. And then I got some others coming up there. You got a lot of the newer generation really high on a list. Finish a battle with a punch or sword slice. Oh, I'd go punch. Well, I guess it really depends. So I've been thinking about it. Out of the characters that I have for main cast, I think only one of them is a swordsman. One of the other ones that I thought of, he has a sword style, but it's not really a sword. It's more of like a small lance. It's like a skinny lance, and it's kind of curved, so it's like a spike. But I guess you can kind of count that as like a sword style, so if that's the case too. Opinion on Wendy, character appearance-wise. I really like Wendy. Wendy's one of my favorite characters in the series. She's got a lot of character development. She's got a lot of relevancy. She's very useful to the cast. She's very useful to the plot. To the plot in terms of like a driving force, she's not, because she's very rarely like a driving piece of what's going on. But she's able to put in a lot of effort and really push a lot of the events going on. But development-wise, she's been great. She's done a really good job at progressing while still holding on to who she was without it being like some 180 of a character. It's really cool when a character has some 180, but then if they teeter away like from who they are, then it's pretty much like, oh yeah, it's a different character at this point. I like it when it's something where they're able to maintain something about their previous kind of setup before getting into some drastic change. I haven't seen a red Zatch Bell. Dude, I recommend it. Zatch Bell, so I mentioned earlier, so I have 5 series kind of like planned out. The first one is more of like an adventure, kind of like world building and events kind of story. The second one is more about like warring kingdoms and conquest. The third one is like kind of like
superhero-ish, but less like Marvel superheroes and more of kind of like the idea of like kind of, I don't want to say Watchmen, but more of that. Actually, I think My Hero Academia is more of kind of like the tone where there's going to be a lot more of them and it's going to feel way more standard for super characters, but it takes place after, you know, when you have like, oh, the final battle between good and bad guys. It takes place after that where the bad guys won. And so pretty much it's like every one hero there's like 9 villains, and a majority of the people with superpowers in their world are all bad guys. The fourth one is more about survival and kind of like evolution, and the last one is kind of like a horror fantasy series. And I think Zach, it's similar, is kind of like what I want to do with my main character, where he has that very young kind of appearance of him, because all the other characters I thought for main characters are more like late teens, early 20s, but the main character for the horror one, I'm planning on starting him at like 6 years old or something really young, just to kind of have that like innocence in both living and fear, which I very much think it will be very much hold a lot in for what I could do with that for story wise. Best new shonen woman in anime. I don't really like Noelle, like Jared Punch says. I'm a fan of Noelle. Makima is really cool. Definitely two of my favorites right now. Makima and Noelle. And Hamura, of course. And Hamura. A lot of people starting to think Shiki, not human, whatever, is the connection to Mother is. He already said that? I don't know. So, like I said, if you want to know my thing on that, go check out the video I did on what I think Shiki's origins are. Jin versus Genos would be a good fight. Jin's not strong enough to fight Genos yet. Geno was able to, like, melt a mountain, didn't he? Didn't he, like, blow up a mountain pretty early in the series? I was thinking about making Tenka and his friends vigilantes. That'd be pretty neat. Just, you know, always on the run. Read Bakuman if you're going to create a manga comic. Yeah, it's not the one that's about manga. Yeah, I really want to start drawing soon. I have the ideas, like character designs, their backstories, powers and stuff, all thought of. I can't draw, and I've always wanted to. I think I've just never really had the dedication to it, but I really want to, and I'm hoping that I can start on that soon. Really get on it and push the envelope on that, and really progress on just getting that dream out there. I would love to be a mangaka. I just always thought that was a really interesting idea. Just a lot of fun to create characters, create a story, create an environment. Because obviously I've been reading stories pretty much for all my life, so it'd be cool to see, you know, what exactly I could create, what I could put on paper and, well, digital, so I guess on pixels. Either way, people were salty because Wendy didn't keep her hair short, because in Japan cutting your hair is considered proof of growth and maturity. I don't know about that. That's weird, personally. I mean, I don't know. I really like, I like longer hair more than short hair. Randy, Hockey Zimana Bakuman is the shit. I'll check it out. Who's my favorite comedic character minus Koro-sensei? Koro-sensei was good. I love the Assassination Classroom volume covers because they're so weird. Some of the manga, when they do strange covers, stand out so well. What's it? Oh my god, what is it called? It's like Q something. It's like a detective manga, and the covers are glow in the dark, which I think is awesome. But my favorite comedic dude, Adam Blade from Needless. If you've never read Needless, that shit's hilarious. I love that manga. It's one of the ones that I've legitimately laughed out loud reading. Like one of the only things that like I've read that made me uncontrollably laugh vocally, which was a delight. It's definitely really fun, but I don't think it's something that you could really get into unless you already do manga and stuff a lot, because like it's really weird. The main character is a clone of the third reincarnation of Jesus, and he's a lolicon priest, and he's like jacked, and he's just like a badass all the time. But it's definitely a fun series to get into. It's definitely a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot of fun to really poke at. Oh man, Adam Blade is such a badass, but he is so funny at the same time. Tank, I prefer not to kill, but I will if necessary. I mean, that's That's essentially what I was gonna go for a lot of my characters. Like the first character pretty much is like that. The second character, she's more knowing that if you step foot on a battlefield, you are fully putting your life on the line to die. And so that's like her idea. Unless it's necessary, then she won't do it. But if you're on a battlefield, you're in like a war zone, then there's very little hesitation. She's a lot more serious of a character. The third one, legitimately, I think his is more of just like how he feels. He's very, he's a little bit of a weird guy because he's kind of like a petty douche a lot of the time. Fourth one, very rare. He would very rarely kill someone. He's definitely the nicest out of the four. And the fifth one, really depends. My idea is the first thing he'll ask a person is if they'll be his friend, and if you say no, he'll start crying because he knows that means he has to kill you. Because he's too paranoid about people who, like, he knows that if they're not his friend, they'll, then logically, then they're on his side. And so they're not a danger to him. But if you're not his friend, then he thinks you're a possible danger, so he'll just, kill you. And that obviously would make him sad, but he understands the severity of the situation and of what, a potential enemy is. Yeah, I like long hair. I always thought long hair looked better. That's a personal take. But, I've definitely seen some girls with short hair pull-offs. And obviously in fiction. What's that? Oh my god. That Slave, there's a manga, it's like Slave something, and they just had like this one chick, and she's like can manipulate space, and she's got short hair. That bitch is a piece. Oh my god, I found out that's under Shonen Jump. I didn't know that. I knew they had some lewd manga. I didn't know that one was though. Like holy shit. Very delightful. Hold on a minute. What is this? What am I reading right now? Ugh. I wonder where this is. There's some place. I guess there's theaters that want to ban people from saying ladies and gentlemen because it's discriminatory or something against the the million other genders that apparently people have to end up. Anyway, what the fuck is this? Go Tanks. What? I don't know. Yeah, so we've got a lot of setup this week. Luckily, a lot of the manga that I like don't seem to really take breaks. A lot of them seem to, be very much at, keep the track. Mishima is a workhorse monster. Tabata is very much at putting stuff out with as little breaks as possible. I always am happy about Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen, the fact that they're always able to put out that, 18, 19-page chapters. Like, they're very little, and very often there's ever, a 16, 15-page chapter for them. I can't think of any for Chainsaw Man. And I think it's worth it because Fujimoto is he's weird when my music stopped playing. Hold on, let me play it again. I'm going to get more music. I want to just get all the free YouTube music so they can't strike me, but I can have this nice ambiance in the background. What do you guys think about this anyway? You guys like this? I've got a couple selections. I like this one because it was called, I think it's called Dragon and Toast. Yeah, it's called Dragon and Toast. I'm thinking about downloading some more. Putting it on a track and putting it on the streams. What do you guys think? I love characters that start off as weak and get ridiculously badass. Yeah, me too. That's what one of the dudes in Zatch Bell, if you haven't seen it, Halloween music. I just thought it sounded kind of ominous. I'm gonna look at more though. I just gotta figure out what I like. That I like while at the same time I think it sounds good in the background of a video. I love characters who have a disability. I mean, which way? Blind? Pretty soon, breathing air will be racist and discriminatory. Oh yeah, fuck all the guys that are just, it hurts my feelings that somebody would say something at something that I don't have to go to, and they're not in any way being aggressive. I just want to complain. It's like, dude, shut up. Stop talking. I'm waiting for people to, I'm waiting for it just to be we can't have gender set bathrooms, so it's just, a free-for-all. Just a free-for-all. I guess they might as well just put a hole in the ground. People could, piss in a hole, I guess. I don't know. Blind is a cool one. I'm trying to think if I have any blind characters, to be perfectly honest. I don't think so. I have some, damaged as hell, missing limbs characters. I don't think I have any blind ones, but I probably should. I think that'd be cool. Actually, yeah, I have a character that's got one leg. I think that's That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. I know I've got more, but I know that there's one character she lost a leg and she had to adapt. But, yeah. Slave of the Magic Capital is what you're thinking of. The author draws great looking feet. I really like your statement there. It's not like he draws all this great panels. You specifically said feet. I've been seeing so many comments lately on Twitter of people say, send me feet pics. Is that becoming the new popular thing? Monster Girls, they're out apparently. Now we're getting to feet. What's my favorite kind of music? I mean, if I had to pick a specific genre, I'd probably go something like metal. I love just like guitar like effects in metal. I love the sound effect of it. Some of the singing, some of it gets a little bit too screamy, but I still like it. If I had to pick the one, I would pick metal. But I still like music in general. Like a lot of them, I'm able to listen to like different genres. It really just depends. Like lately, I've been listening to a lot of Journey. Just because I grew up listening to Journey because my dad is a fan of them. Read Solo Leveling. I'll think about it. I hear a lot of things about Solo Leveling. I want to check it out. I have had some, I want to say wonky experiences with Korean series. It's because the main character always starts out so broken, or it takes forever. What was it? The Gamer? Like, in the first, 300 chapters is him just kind of, fighting fodder characters. And then, I'm sure in the long run, it'll be a lot better, but I'm just I want to see characters struggle and, go through some stuff. I have to deal with, a powerful opponent, a wall, something they gotta overcome, not just them fighting random characters, so, for a long series of time. I plan on trying Solo Leveling at some point. I've heard good things. Right now, I'm reading that Kamio Cuts Loose manga, and I want to start Act Age 2, because I've heard some really good things about that series. I know it's doing really well in Japan right now. I think it's got 2 million volumes in circulation or something, which is pretty good. Because it's only been out for a year and a half. No, I haven't finished. I also look poops. Oh, that's okay. Well, I've been seeing a lot of. I'm talking about I've been seeing a lot of posts on Twitter lately of people being send feet pics and stuff. I just didn't know if that was a new ongoing thing or what. My other main character has robot limbs and has to pierce and connect to bones. That's pretty neat. Oh, I got one dude who's a cyborg, but I'm trying to think specifically well, I guess that counts. I guess that's a disability, sort of. I don't know. What do you guys think? I guess that would count. I mean, you're getting boosted and augmented. 1 second, I'm gonna message someone real quick. I think that counts. I think that's a pretty viable kind of setup for what you would consider. Because otherwise, what, do you become less disabled if you get a robot leg? I don't know. I had to message somebody. Okay, I forgot that. Oh wait. When are you and Underrated Mage doing a video together? I have to ask him. If he wants to do a video, then I would do a collab video and we talk about fairy tale and stuff. I don't know if he would though, but if he would, I'd be perfectly fine with doing one. If you add us both on Twitter, I'll try. So yeah, Kinmono, go if you add us on Twitter, add both of us, and just, if you want to try and see a collab. Again, I'm perfectly willing and always up to do a collab with another YouTuber. I'm a man of great friendliness. I gotta open something up real quick. Where's Twitch? I never go to Twitch. Yeah, if you just go add us both. If he responds, I will try. I'm always up to talk about Fairy Tail Man. You know that. You know that I'm always constantly at game to discuss my deep love of the series. Are you still friends with Yellow Flash? Yeah, I don't talk to him much anymore. Not out of not enjoying talking to him. He's a nice guy. But but he's been doing his thing. I've been doing my thing. I haven't been in his. I left his server, like, I don't know. It's like a year and a half ago, and I haven't really conversed with him much since. But he's been doing good, I imagine. He's a nice dude. One of the main character. Yeah, I already read that. Only when he used. Only he can use the robot limbs because he lived without limbs. He lived his life without limbs for so long. So, yeah, and that's pretty cool. I like the idea of having these robot limbs. There's a character. I actually was really mad in Mad Chimera World. The one of the main characters, she has, I think all of her limbs are robotic, but I think that series got canceled because it wrapped up like almost everything in like 3 chapters. I was very unhappy about it because it was a really interesting series. But yeah, if you should go check that out. That was might give you a little bit of inspiration, maybe give you some ideas towards working on that character. Has anyone here seen Terminator Dark Fate? I saw it bombed. I think it made like 20 million in the last like 3 days, which is sad. And I saw Joker is at like, I think like 940 million now. We're gonna hit that big billion on the Joker movie, which is very well deserved. It makes me happy because I love that movie and it was great. I want to go watch it again. Are you gonna get Pokemon Sword and Shield? I'm gonna get Shield, yeah. I might stream it. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to figure out how to stream on a Switch. I don't know how to do that. I'm thinking about it because I feel like that would be really fun to stream. Because some games, like when Code Vein came out, I kind of didn't want. I wanted to stream it, but I kind of didn't because I knew I was gonna die a lot. So I was like, I don't really know if I want people to see me get my ass kicked so many times. Pokemon, I feel like, is just fun for everybody to watch. It's a very enjoyable game. You guys can see me, make the characters and whatnot. Well, name the characters, name the Pokemon, and evolve and such. I'll look into it. When does it? Does it come out on the 15th? When does Pokemon Sword and Shield come out? Let me look it up. Let me look this up. Pokemon Sword and Shield release date. Let me see really quick. 15th. That is what, a week from Friday, I think. Oh, cool. I get paid that day too. Yeah, I'll go pick it up. I'm gonna take some games back because I bought Astral Chain, but I just didn't play it, and I know that I'm just not as, because I'm sure it was a good game. I have no idea, but I know I'm never gonna get around to playing it. Because at the same time that it came out, that new Yu-Gi-Oh game came out. And that's pretty much like anytime I play my Switch, it's that Yu-Gi-Oh game. What theme song would you want your main character to have? An existent theme song? Something by Dragon Force, man. Maybe like, let me think of a song. Maybe like Tomorrow's Kings, or, the Sun, what is it? Sun is Dead. Lots of really like fast, exciting songs. Who's your favorite character between Shiki, Natsu, and Asa? Oh, Natsu for sure. You already know that. You know Natsu's my favorite shonen main character. I love Natsu. Natsu's my boy. Natsu's my number one boy. I'll hang out for a little bit. After, I'm waiting for my brother to finish up a game, and then I'm gonna play with him. So whenever he's done with his game, then I'll end the stream, and we can hang out. What is the most useless magic in Fairy Tail? Because I think it's Godslayer magic. No, Godslayer magic has some uses. It's just unfortunate that it's not ever utilized in a way that it's obviously primarily effective. Because it goes against gods, and which includes like more deities. Because I imagine it would work on like the gods of Yakuma. But the most useless magic, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Maybe some like Warcry's magic. That was kind of, it seemed to be interesting from what people were saying, but we never saw it actually in action. Or I'm trying to think of like actually shown characters. Something straight. Actually, what is it? I was gonna say the voodoo magic that Kane had, but we already know that you could use it on yourself and buff yourself, so that's definitely not it. I'm trying to think of like a really weak early character. What's that one dude? That one of those guys from Eisenwald The guy that, like, all his power was is he had, like, little, like, strands, like, little black strings that he had come out of his fingers, and he pretty much would just kind of, like, move around like Spider-Man. That's pretty much all his magic could do. I think that'd be one of the worst ones, because really, where does it evolve from there? Where would you go to, like, oh yeah, evolve my magic, go up a stage? Because obviously when you have, you get, like, a more powerful thing, how do you get that more powerful? Is it just, like, way more? Is it going to be longer? Is it, like, I don't understand what you do to upgrade that in any capacity, in any way. Like, try and give yourself an edge. Because when you think about that magic, it really should only be some form of an additional thing. It should only be an additional thing that you'd have. Nothing like, oh man, this is my primary magic. Now, you'd want that to be like, oh yeah, I have this, and it's like, what magic could I learn to make this more useful? Oh, go for that magic, because it's, I can't imagine it being really that useful in its own kind of like set. Tayu Ryuha, Gote 13 team attack. Am I thinking? Wait, what? What's your idea on a team attack? I mean, anything that just kind of like combines all their powers. But at that point, you need to think, what does it look like? Is it just like all the powers meshed into one big energy attack? Is it going to take shape of something? I was actually a little bit bummed in Seven Deadly Sins that their attack, like, it should have looked like each of their sin marks. It should have been, all their different animals bashing into him, or, something. It was really just a big energy sphere, and that was kind of lame. That poor Demon King. Who do you look for in an anime waifu? Oh my god. I don't think there's anything that I primarily go for. I guess if I was gonna give a weakness, like chicks with like that white silver hair is always an instant attention grabber to me. Godslayers never did anything for the story or plot. It was that they Godslayers existed. I mean, no. What about Sharia helped defeat Damaria? That's something. Obviously, Zancro and Orga never did anything. But the thing is, that's more of the characters and not the magic. The magic itself is useful. It's obviously a very powerful magic. It's just, they were put in kind of like shitty situations with how they were used. I would like it and prefer it if we got, what's going on here? I'm watching my brother play. Oh, he should have waited on that. I'm watching him play some League of Legends. I've been on a terrible loss streak lately. I've been having a horrible time. But, it looks like is he winning? Yeah, 3, oh, no, wait. That's Darius. I'm just watching this Darius chase people. Anyway, Demon, Dragon, God. I mean, that's essentially what Natsu's going to become before the end of the series. They're going to need some crazy stuff to really protect themselves from this guy when he goes full on out. It hasn't been like full on confirmed yet that this is Aetheria's powers. I think it's a little obvious though. As long as you're paying attention to the series, you should be able to figure it out. And then Dragon God, we know that the God is more of a title, but I mean, he's pretty much going to be a Demon Dragon God by EOS, because he's already on that pathway. He's going to need to be Dragon God level to even fight Ignia when he gets there. So what would be I think that's just a pretty easy deduction that he's going to be sitting at that spot before the end. Because it's not like, with his fight with Ignia, it's not like with Acnologia where they needed to get buffed in order to fight with him, like a temporary boost. Natsu needs to be as strong as him normally, because if not, his flames are going to destroy his own body. We already know that, like, his Savage Dragon Fire and his Aetherius Dragon Fire is too much for him. It's too much for his being. That time-burning fire is too much for him to be able to handle. It completely incinerates, like, his flesh and just renders him unable to keep fighting at that point. Anywhere where the flames touch, he ends up just getting a lot of his, like, body, like, scorched off. I'm hoping we see soon just like the idea of how Natsu's gonna get stronger, because it's gotta be a way that exists in the series. I mean, he can't get like second origin, he's already got it. Third origin is more the concept of like drawing all your power in the future. Plus, at that point, then what is Natsu gonna do beyond that? He's just gonna like turn at max power and then never be able to do stuff again? That wouldn't make sense for like his idea of wanting to live and able to keep doing stuff. I'm hoping it's something to do with more of like an environment thing, like he kind of like embraces being more of a dragon and has to get in that that mindset of what exactly that means and kind of get into that stasis. Maybe just fully push his dragon force until he evolves to it being like a natural part of him. Kind of like Igneel, or not Igneel, kind of like Actologia, where, oh yeah, he's a full dragon, but he can switch between them at will. You know, just pop back and forth. Third Origin, Final Getsuga Tensho. Well, no, Final Getsuga Tensho was like, it erases all your Ryatsu, but you could still recover at some point. You could still recover. There are ways to do it. I mean, with Third Origin, you're pretty much screwed. Like Sharia, she can use a little bit from what was kind of like brought up near the end. She can use a little bit of magic still, but nothing to really, nothing that could even, nothing that she could even beat like a random bad guy. She could do like kind of more like fun magic, or it's something that could be used to enhance her life. Nothing that could really let her be a full-on wizard anymore. I mean, she could do like kind of like Mirror Jane. Maybe she could shapeshift, become a model. I don't know. That final resort attack, yeah, for sure. It's pretty much beyond this. You're all in or nothing. You're understanding that after this, there's not much that you're going to be going for. It's GG after that for you. Seven Deadly Sins and Fairy Tail share a universe. I can tell you why I think if you cared. If you want me to explain. Yeah, if you want to explain, go ahead. I don't think they do because Fairy Tail already exists on its own fictional planet. And Seven Deadly Sins, we already know from Nakaba that that Britannia, the Seven Deadly Sins Britannia, is the same one as real life Britannia. It's just in a fictional world. I'd be perfectly fine with them being in the same kind of like conjoined universe, like multiverse, to like, you know, oh yeah, a character could figure out how to cross one universe and go to the other. That I would believe. I don't think they're in the same universe, but I feel like they could be within the same kind of like conjoined universe. Conjoined multiverse, I'd say. 8 Gates God versus 6 Paths Naruto. Well, Naruto's gonna kick the shit out of him. He was, you know, he was pretty much like a demigod at that point with the old Naruto buff. I'm watching my brother be crazy right now playing this game. Oh, he's gonna die. Wait, he might live. No, he's dead. Yeah, go ahead. If you want to give me any of your thoughts, go ahead, man. I think that they could easily pull in like they all exist in the same multiverse, because here Mishima, you know, with Daedalus existing, they've already shown that yeah, there is a multiverse, and it's not just alternate timelines, it's straight multiverse, and there are ways to go through them and go to a different one. So at least there's, you know, that existing, and you could easily have like some event where Meliodas and Meliodas and Natsu meet up, and it's like, oh yeah, there's something going on that the universal, like the boundaries between each universe has either weakened, or some character has summoned us both at some middle plane. They should make a character that's essentially like the god of that multiverse and just name it Kondacha, and be like, oh yeah, this character, you know, it's decided that to draw you in together, you guys are now going to exist in the same universe. Maybe draw a couple other, bring Shinra in there, bring Shiki, and just have them all kind of hang out. And then the question to be is, are they going to have one art style, or are they going to have their own art styles all in one universe? I don't know. That'd be kind of interesting to see, though. I know I've seen they've done Natsu in Seven Deadly Sins style. Nakaba's done it, and Mishima's done Seven Deadly Sins characters in his art style. But I would like to see them kind of just hang out, as well as like bring in like Shinra, Musashi. Who else is weekly shown in the magazine? I'm trying to think. Final Dragon. So I don't want to spoil too much. I will say that my newest main character is he's like a blood. I was actually really happy. I mentioned on Twitter he's a blood manipulator. His name is Zotz, and it's all themed after Camazotz, the Mayan god of bats. And I was very happy because right after that, I saw an article that was like explaining how bats, like vampire bats, will form like everlasting friendships between each other. And I was like, yes, perfect for a shonen. I can do this. Here in the crossover Fairy Tail and So Many Sins went to Magnolia, and they were tourists basically Meliodas knew a fairy tale. I mean, yeah, but that's like a crossover. I mean, it could easily have a crossover universe. Like maybe it exists in the same world as Heroes, but I don't think it's in their main stories. But it could easily be in the Heroes universe. That I can 100% like get on board with in the Heroes, because Heroes isn't like the Fairy Tail 7 or Fairy Tail. Oh, yes, yeah, the Fairy Tail 7 since crossover, or the Rave Master Fairy Tail crossover, where it's just like, you know, you're just doing a fun one chapter, and then beyond that, what's the plan? Heroes is its own story. It's its own continuity, so you could easily have something in there. What would be my Shikai? I really like. If I got to pick one Zanpakuto, I'd probably pick Renji's. I really like Renji's Zabimaru, and the original one, the Hihio Zabimaru, not so Zabimaru. Not a vampire. I mean, he would pretty much, it'd be kind of a vampire, but less like, you know, Dracula vampire, more of blood mage kind of thing. Because each of the characters I want are going to be based off of monsters, either from like straight mythologies, or, you know, based off of like gods that I think would fit in that. You know, I have like the rival of that one, you know, his kind of cool character rival guy. His name is Omu Bane, and he's based off of one of the Omu Kade, which are the giant centipedes from Japanese lore that eat dragons and kind of like wrap around mountains and stuff. I really felt like I just wanted to do like another cool one and I felt like a you know, some form of like Japanesey one would be pretty neat to have for the main rival, just because I don't have a lot of like, Japanese characters, but I feel like you gotta have some if you're gonna do a manga style series. I'm trying to think other fun Shikais to have. I would try and, what would be the best one for, like, if I was gonna live? But then what would be the best one if I guess, wanted to take over the world or something? I guess Aizen's would be perfect if you really wanted to just conquer the planet. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Aizen's. If you just get complete hypnosis over people, that would be pretty sick. Because I'm starting to think, like, if I was like, man, I want to rule the planet, you could get something kind of like Ryujin Jaka, but then that's not the same as, like, his Bankai, because then, like, bullets aren't going to do anything. They're going to burn up before they get in contact. But if you have Aizen's, you don't need to do war. You just straight mind control people. Which version of Ichigo's Bankai did you prefer? I like the Black Katana better. I really like the one after Execution. One he had, it's got like the kind of like tips to it near the end. After the Execution arc, after he got his powers back. I really like that version, personally. Dragneon, it takes great courage to face your fears, but it takes even greater courage to admit those fears. Well, the way I'm going with the horror one is pretty much becoming the fears, because the theme with that one is that there's not really any heroes or villains anymore. It's pretty much just monsters and prey, and it's not going to be one of those like, oh yeah, we gotta do nice things in order to overcome things. It's more of like what you have to do to survive, and you know pretty much become a monster. Oh, Quincy Ichigo. Are we counting that? Is that canon? I don't know if it's in the novels. I know Kubo designed it himself, and I know he's been doing some crazy stuff in the novels. If you include that one, I picked that one. I really like that Ichigo design. That Ichigo design is so sick. I wish he got that after like, you know, he got his true Shikai and Bankai, and maybe like his two swords become like a bow. Because originally, for Bleach, Ichigo was supposed to be a sharpshooter. It was going to be called, I think he was going to be a sniper or a rifleman or something. He was, you know, he's going to use a gun. And then, you know, it went into all swords and stuff. But that would have been really neat to see where exactly he would have taken the series with that. But if Ichigo originally was going to be a gunman, he probably had a lot of ideas of what to do with it before formulating the story of Bleach. So the gun one, or in this case, archery. Plus, I thought the black and blue looked a lot cooler with Ichigo's orange hair than the red and black. Like, I gotta get one last thing out before I end the stream. That's what I really liked about Black Clover's animes. Like, when you look back at when you look back at the Water Temple arc, when Asta had his demon, the devil activate and start doing stuff, that magenta, silver, and black looked so cool. I liked it way more than the red and black, but I like kind of what they're doing now with that magenta and black. Because red and black is really cool. I won't lie. Red and black is the sick color combination, but it is very normally set, and I just like that. I liked how much it kind of like differentiated Asta. Anyway, I'm gonna call it good. Wait, what do I think of Aizen's Bankai is? I don't know. I'm so curious of that, because some of the Bankais I would have guessed were a lot different than what they became. I don't think it's ever going to get shown, though. I think it might be something more kind of like, maybe he could turn some of his illusions into reality kind of thing, manifesting them physically. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream. I appreciate him for showing up. I appreciate the super chats from Alo Oud and Ken Mono. Yeah, Ken Mono, if you at Underrated Mage and he's willing to do a collab with me, I don't mind. I'm okay with it. I don't want to kind of like try and seem like I'm just trying to like coax in. I'm like, hey man, let's do a collab. You know, if fans are more for it, then maybe he'll be more on board. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Thanks everyone for showing up. Yeah, appreciate all the nice words and kindness. And till next week, bye.